David sat at the corner table of Willowbrook Café, the soft glow of Christmas lights reflecting off the frosted window panes. Snow drifted lazily outside, covering the streets and rooftops in a thick, quiet blanket of white. The faint crunch of snow underfoot from passing pedestrians was muffled by the winter hush, leaving only the gentle jingling of the café doorbell as customers came and went. His coffee sat untouched, the steam rising and curling above the cup like tiny, delicate tendrils. He had spent the entire week anticipating this blind date, imagining moments of laughter, the spark of conversation, and the warmth of connection. Yet when she arrived, she had glanced at him for a fleeting second, offered a polite smile, and excused herself, leaving David alone in the soft glow of the cafe lights. A quiet ache settled over him, heavier than he expected. He sighed, running a hand through his hair and leaning back slightly, feeling the chair beneath him. Being a single dad was already challenging, balancing work, parenting, and the little routines that kept life organized. Meeting someone new felt like stepping into a labyrinth with invisible walls. Every gesture, every word, every glance had to be measured carefully. And tonight, it seemed, the labyrinth had closed in, leaving him at the center of an empty room of expectations. David glanced around the cafe. Couples leaned in close, exchanging whispered jokes. Friends gestured excitedly, sharing stories with animated hands and expressive faces. Families laughed over desserts and cocoa. The warmth of the room was palpable, yet it contrasted sharply with the loneliness settling in his chest. He watched the twinkle of Christmas lights reflected in the polished wood and flickering glass, noting how even the smallest candle cast a comforting glow. His thoughts drifted to his twins at home, how they would be decorating cookies, singing along to holiday songs, and asking countless questions about the world. He imagined their excited chatter and laughter, the little things that made his days brighter, and felt a pang of both love and longing. Perhaps tonight wasn't a failure. Perhaps it was a quiet pause before something wonderful appeared. David traced the rim of his coffee cup absent-mindedly, noticing the delicate condensation forming tiny droplets that slid slowly down the side. He inhaled the rich aroma of roasted coffee beans mingled with the subtle scent of cinnamon drifting from the kitchen. Every detail in the room seemed amplified. The soft hum of the espresso machine, the gentle rustle of coats, the flicker of lights bouncing off the polished tables. Each little element grounded him in the present, reminding him that even in solitude, beauty and warmth existed. He allowed himself to reflect on the possibilities still waiting, the small joys yet to be discovered. Perhaps someone would arrive unexpectedly, someone who would laugh at the same jokes, appreciate the same small details, and understand the rhythm of his life. He let his eyes wander over the softly falling snow, each flake delicate, unique, drifting silently toward the earth, and felt a tiny spark of hope flicker within him. The soft glow of Christmas lights, the muted conversations around him, and the smell of cocoa and pastries combined into a comforting cocoon. David leaned back, exhaling slowly, and realized that even tonight's disappointment was part of a larger story, one still waiting to unfold. In that quiet, golden moment, he allowed himself to hope, just enough to feel a gentle warmth spreading from his chest to his fingertips, a quiet anticipation that something wonderful might be on the way. David stirred his coffee slowly, watching the delicate spirals of steam rise and fade into the soft glow of the cafe lights. The room hummed with quiet chatter and the gentle clinking of cups and silverware, a symphony of ordinary life that contrasted with the turmoil inside him. He had come tonight seeking connection, a spark of warmth to brighten the cold winter evening, yet the sting of rejection lingered like a shadow over his heart. He gazed out at the snow-covered street, imagining the glint of lights reflecting off the ice, the laughter of children playing, and the crisp, cold air that made the warmth inside feel even more comforting. Every flake seemed to fall with purpose, delicate and silent, yet somehow part of the universe's greater design. Perhaps tonight was not an end but a pause, a quiet moment before something extraordinary appeared. David's thoughts drifted to his twins. He pictured them at home, excitedly preparing for Christmas, decorating cookies with flour on their noses, and singing the same song over and over with delighted glee. He could hear their voices in his mind, feel their small hands in his, their laughter a balm for the ache in his chest. He realized that even when he felt alone, love and joy surrounded him in forms both large and small. He noticed the cafe's warm details, the golden glow of lights reflecting on polished tables, the subtle aroma of cinnamon and baked goods, the gentle flicker of a candle in the corner, casting soft shadows across the floor. The warmth wrapped around him, soothing the sting of disappointment, offering reassurance that moments of connection were still possible, even when least expected. David sipped his coffee, savoring the richness of the flavor and the comfort of its warmth, letting his mind wander over possibilities yet unseen. Perhaps someone would appear tonight who could laugh with him, understand him, and share the rhythm of his life. The thought made his chest feel lighter, a subtle flutter of anticipation spreading through him, mingling with the warmth of the cafe and the glow of Christmas lights. He exhaled slowly, letting the quiet of the moment fill him. Outside, snow continued to drift down in soft layers, each flake unique and fleeting, yet together creating a serene, magical scene. David allowed himself a gentle smile, the smallest spark of hope flickering in his heart, reminding him that even a night of disappointment could lead to unexpected joy, and that perhaps the best stories were yet to unfold. The cafe door swung open with a soft, melodic jingle, and a swirl of chilly winter air danced across the floor, carrying with it delicate snowflakes that landed briefly before melting into the warmth of the room. David's eyes lifted from his coffee, and there she was, Clara. Her presence seemed to brighten the space, not just with her sparkling eyes or warm, inviting smile, but with a subtle energy that made the air feel lighter, more alive. She wore a stylish winter coat that brushed gracefully against her knees, a scarf wrapped neatly around her neck, and gloves that suggested she had stepped in from the cold just moments before. Her hair framed her face perfectly, soft waves catching the glow of the Christmas lights strung along the walls. David noticed the way she moved, confident, yet relaxed, every step deliberate, full of purpose and calm assurance. For a fleeting moment, it felt as if the entire cafe had faded away, leaving only the two of them in a bubble of warmth and anticipation. Clara scanned the room, her eyes briefly lingering on the twinkling decorations, then landed on David. A small, playful smile tugged at her lips. He felt an unfamiliar flutter in his chest, a nervous excitement that made him aware of every detail. The soft hum of the cafe, the faint scent of cinnamon and coffee, the gentle clink of cups being set on tables. She approached him slowly, yet every step conveyed confidence and intention, a rhythm that was soothing yet electrifying all at once. "Mind if I join you?" she asked softly, her voice warm and inviting, a subtle twinkle of curiosity in her eyes. David nodded, words catching in his throat, as a wave of relief, anticipation, and excitement washed over him. She pulled out the chair across from him and sat gracefully, her coat brushing lightly against the table. The cafe's background music seemed to harmonize with the energy she brought, soft notes of holiday melodies blending seamlessly with the rising warmth in his chest. For a few moments, they simply looked at each other, exchanging small smiles, subtle glances, and tentative gestures. David felt his heartbeat quicken, not from fear, but from the growing sense of connection. Outside, snow continued to fall in delicate, swirling flakes, unnoticed in the quiet intimacy forming inside the cafe. Every detail, the soft glow of lights, the flicker of a candle on a nearby table, the muted hum of conversation, felt magnified, like the world itself was conspiring to create this perfect moment. Clara adjusted her scarf with a small laugh, a sound that seemed to melt the lingering ache of disappointment from his earlier evening. David smiled back, feeling a warm tingle of anticipation and hope. Perhaps the night was not over. Perhaps the story had only just begun. Each passing second felt significant, each subtle gesture a note in a symphony that neither of them fully understood yet, but that promised something extraordinary. As they began to converse, her words light and expressive, her gestures fluid and inviting, David felt a subtle shift within himself. The evening had begun in rejection, but now it was transforming into something completely new: warmth, laughter, curiosity, and the spark of a connection that could grow into something life-changing. The snow, the lights, the music, and the soft murmur of the cafe all blended together to create a scene of possibility, as if the universe itself had paused to witness this unexpected beginning. David and Clara began to talk, their words and gestures flowing naturally, as if they had known each other far longer than a few minutes. The warmth between them grew slowly, like a candle flickering to life, illuminating every quiet corner of their hearts. Each story shared, every gentle laugh, every tilt of the head or subtle smile, built an invisible bridge, connecting them across the small cafe table. The soft hum of the cafe, the gentle clink of cups, the rustle of coats, and the low murmur of conversation all faded into the background. Outside, snow continued to drift lazily, creating a serene, almost magical backdrop. Inside, however, time seemed to stretch, as if the universe had slowed its pace to allow this unexpected connection to unfold fully. David told stories of his twins, their small adventures and holiday traditions. He spoke of the excitement in their eyes when they decorated cookies, the playful chaos of their laughter, and the quiet moments of wonder when they noticed the snow for the first time each winter. Clara listened intently, her hands moving gracefully in gestures, her eyes sparkling with genuine interest and warmth. Clara shared her own stories, her voice calm yet expressive, describing little joys that made life meaningful. Morning walks in quiet snow-covered streets, the thrill of discovering a hidden bookshop, the satisfaction of giving a thoughtful gift. David found himself leaning in, hanging on every word, each anecdote weaving them closer together, creating a sense of familiarity and trust in a single evening. They paused occasionally to laugh, small moments of shared amusement that felt effortless. The subtle gestures of hands, the occasional tilt of a head, the brief glances exchanged, all of it created a rhythm, a dance of connection that was both delicate and profound. David realized that for the first time all evening, he was completely present, caught in the magic of an unplanned, genuine encounter. The snow outside fell steadily, each flake unique, a reminder of the quiet beauty in life's small details. David noticed how Clara's eyes reflected the twinkling lights, how her smile seemed to brighten even the dim corners of the cafe, how the warmth in her presence seemed to blend seamlessly with the holiday ambience around them. The room felt alive, yet intimate, and David felt a rare sense of peace, comfort, and anticipation all at once. As the conversation continued, David realized that the evening had transformed completely. What had begun with disappointment was now a scene of possibility and hope. There was laughter, genuine curiosity, shared reflections, and a spark of something unspoken yet undeniable. For the first time tonight, he allowed himself to imagine that this night could be the beginning of something extraordinary, a story that might change his life in the gentlest, most unexpected way. Just as David and Clara were settling into the rhythm of conversation, the cafe door jingled again, and a small gust of cold air swept inside. Two energetic figures appeared, bundled in cozy winter coats, scarves, and mittens, their cheeks rosy from the snow outside. David's twins, Ella and Ethan, rushed toward the table, their eyes sparkling with excitement and mischief, each step full of joy and anticipation. Clara watched, delighted, as the children moved quickly, their movements animated and full of life. Their laughter rang out, blending with the soft holiday music in the background. David stood to greet them, a broad smile spreading across his face as he ruffled their hair and offered warm hugs. The twins chattered excitedly, their voices overlapping in a delightful jumble of stories about the snow, the walk to the café, and the tiny details they had noticed along the way. The children's energy was contagious. Clara leaned forward slightly, laughing softly, captivated by their enthusiasm and playful spirit. She asked gentle questions, listening intently, letting her eyes convey warmth and understanding. The twins responded eagerly, showing her the snowflakes they had caught on their gloves, explaining the shapes they saw and how the light reflected on each delicate crystal. David felt a wave of relief and gratitude as he watched the interaction. He realized how important it was for Clara to connect with his children, how her patience and genuine curiosity created a bridge of trust and comfort. The café, once quiet and still around him, now felt alive with laughter, movement, and the joyful energy of family. Even the soft glow of the Christmas lights seemed brighter, as if mirroring the warmth radiating from this unexpected moment. Clara knelt slightly to meet the children at eye level, her hands moving gently in gestures to communicate, and David watched, amazed at how easily she adapted to their energy. She asked them playful questions, made soft jokes, and responded with exaggerated expressions that drew giggles and delighted squeals. Each interaction strengthened the sense of connection, weaving the beginning threads of trust, affection, and familial warmth between them all. David sat back down, feeling his heart swell with happiness. The initial tension of the evening had melted away, replaced by laughter, movement, and a gentle sense of belonging. Clara's presence, the twins' energy, and the comforting ambience of the café blended together into a single harmonious moment, a memory that could linger long after the snow had settled and the evening drew to a close. As they all shared stories, gestures, and small laughter, David realized that this night, which had started in disappointment and quiet solitude, had transformed completely. The warmth of family, the spark of potential romance, and the joy of unexpected connection now filled the space around them, and he allowed himself to imagine a future that was brighter, fuller, and infinitely more hopeful than he had dared to expect. David, Clara, Ella, and Ethan gathered around the small café table, the space now buzzing with warmth, laughter, and the gentle hum of conversation. The children chattered excitedly, recounting their adventures in the snow, describing every detail from the soft crunch under their boots to the shapes of the flakes that clung to their mittens. Clara listened intently, her eyes shining with delight, occasionally laughing softly, occasionally responding with gentle gestures that drew peals of giggles from the twins. David watched, a soft smile spreading across his face, as the children's excitement seemed to fill the room. He noticed how naturally Clara adapted to their energy, how she asked thoughtful questions, how her expressions and gestures made the twins feel seen, heard, and important. The warmth radiating from this small group was almost tangible, wrapping around them like a cozy blanket on a cold winter night. The cafe's soft lights reflected off the polished wood of the table, the twinkling holiday decorations adding to the sense of magic in the room. David felt a quiet joy settling in his chest, a feeling deeper than excitement or hope. It was the reassurance that this connection, however unexpected, was genuine. Here, in the middle of an ordinary cafe with snow gently falling outside, a sense of family, trust, and budding love was quietly forming. Clara leaned closer, her voice soft yet expressive, engaging the twins with playful questions about their favorite holiday traditions. David answered as well, sharing little stories about their morning walks, cookie decorating mishaps, and the playful arguments over which Christmas movie to watch first. The children laughed freely, their small hands gesturing animatedly as they described every tiny detail, and Clara mirrored their enthusiasm, creating a perfect harmony of warmth and connection. David noticed the subtle, unspoken moments too, the way Clara glanced at him with gentle understanding, the way the twins' eyes lit up when he smiled, the quiet shared glances that spoke volumes without words. In these moments, he realized that the night had shifted from an ordinary evening into something extraordinary, a memory being etched in all of their hearts. Outside, the snow continued its silent descent, but inside, the warmth, laughter, and light were overwhelming. David felt his heart swell as he looked at Clara and his children together, a perfect tableau of connection and hope. Every story shared, every small joke, every gesture of affection created a tapestry of belonging, love, and the possibility of a future filled with joy. As the conversation continued, the bonds between them deepened, Clara with David, Clara with the twins, and the family as a whole. David realized that the evening had transformed completely. What began as a night of rejection and quiet longing had grown into a heartwarming family moment, filled with laughter, connection, and the spark of something truly remarkable. For the first time in weeks, he allowed himself to believe that the future could hold not just hope, but happiness, love, and unexpected magic. As the evening progressed, the warmth and laughter around the table grew. Clara, David, and the twins were fully immersed in conversation, their gestures, expressions, and stories blending seamlessly into the cozy rhythm of the cafe. The aroma of cinnamon, cocoa, and fresh pastries filled the air, mingling with the soft holiday music in the background. Every glance, every smile, every gentle gesture added to the sense of belonging and joy that had blossomed in such a short time. David took a deep breath, feeling the quiet courage that comes from moments of connection. He realized how much he wanted this evening to continue, how much he longed for the warmth of Clara's presence to extend beyond the cafe walls. As the twins playfully described their favorite holiday traditions, he found himself hesitating, then gathering the courage to offer an invitation that felt both natural and hopeful. "Would you like to join us for Christmas dinner tomorrow?" he asked, his voice calm but sincere. He watched Clara's eyes widen slightly, her lips parting in surprise and delight. She laughed softly, a warm, musical sound that seemed to echo through the small space, and then nodded, her expression radiating genuine joy. "I would love to," she said, her smile lighting up the table, the room, and David's heart all at once. The twins clapped their hands and bounced in excitement, their enthusiasm infectious. They began talking over each other, their small hands gesturing rapidly, explaining how they would help set the table, decorate, and prepare for the festive meal. Clara leaned forward, joining in their excitement, asking playful questions and laughing freely. David felt a deep sense of contentment wash over him, the ache of earlier disappointment replaced by the warmth of family and the promise of new beginnings. Outside, snow continued to fall gently, coating the streets in pristine white. Inside, the glow of holiday lights reflected off polished tables and smiling faces. David felt the evening stretch in the most beautiful way, each moment enriched by laughter, stories, and the growing bond between him, Clara, and the twins. He realized that this invitation was not just about sharing a meal. It was about sharing life, trust, and the first steps toward a meaningful connection that could grow into love and family. They lingered at the table, savoring cocoa, exchanging small jokes, and sharing stories of past Christmases. David noticed how easily Clara integrated into the family's rhythm, how naturally she responded to the twins' energy, and how effortlessly warmth and joy radiated from her presence. The cafe, the lights, the music, and the gentle hum of conversation became the backdrop for a memory that would last long after the snow had melted. As the evening drew toward a close, David felt a quiet satisfaction settle over him. He knew that tomorrow's dinner would be more than just a meal. It would be a celebration of connection, of family, and of hope. In the soft glow of the cafe, surrounded by laughter, gestures, and the gentle fall of snow outside, he allowed himself to embrace the possibility that this Christmas might be the beginning of something truly extraordinary. The following evening, David's home was filled with warmth, laughter, and the cozy chaos of a Christmas celebration. Clara arrived, carrying a small gift and a smile that seemed to brighten every corner of the room. Ella and Ethan rushed to greet her, their tiny hands entwined with hers, their excitement bubbling over as they led her to help with decorations and festive preparations. The scent of baked cookies, cinnamon, and pine mingled with the faint aroma of the snowy evening outside, creating a scene of pure holiday magic. David watched, a soft smile spreading across his face, as Clara and the twins laughed and worked together. Every gesture, every shared glance, every burst of giggles created a tapestry of connection, warmth, and joy. For the first time in what felt like forever, David felt completely at ease, present in the moment, filled with gratitude and hope. The rejection of the previous night seemed like a distant memory, replaced by a profound sense of belonging and happiness. Clara moved closer, her eyes meeting David's with a gentle, playful twinkle. "You know," she said softly, "I think I could get used to this family, and maybe, just maybe, I could be your wife one day." David's chest tightened with a mix of surprise, joy, and warmth. The twins squealed with delight, bouncing in excitement, and wrapping their small arms around Clara. The moment felt suspended in time, a perfect culmination of laughter, connection, and hope realized. They sat down to Christmas dinner together, plates overflowing with festive treats, the room alive with conversation, gentle teasing, and the warmth of shared love. Each bite, each story, each burst of laughter reinforced the bond forming between them, creating a sense of family that felt natural, complete, and joyous. David realized that the night had brought him something far greater than he had expected. Not just a companion, but someone who embraces life, his children, and the magic of unexpected connection. Outside, snow continued to fall softly, blanketing the world in quiet beauty. Inside, the lights glowed brighter than ever, reflecting off smiling faces and twinkling eyes. David, Clara, Ella, and Ethan leaned back for a moment, taking in the warmth, the joy, and the serenity of the evening. The holiday spirit was alive in their laughter, their gestures, and the quiet moments of reflection between them. As the evening drew to a close, David felt a profound sense of hope and gratitude. He looked at Clara and the twins, realizing that life could surprise you in the most beautiful ways. A night that had begun with disappointment had transformed into the start of a new chapter filled with love, laughter, and connection. And as he shared a glance with Clara, he knew that this was just the beginning of their story, a story that would continue to unfold in warmth, joy, and togetherness. And to you, watching this story unfold, remember, magic often appears in unexpected moments, and love can find you when you least expect it. If you enjoyed this heartwarming tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that will touch your heart, warm your soul, and remind you that joy can appear when you need it most.